Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another gadget I think you're going to find pretty interesting. It's a home automation product called the Mini Smart Plug from Wemo that enables you to control any appliance in your home that you would normally plug into a wall outlet by simply plugging this module in first, plugging that device into this module, and then using an application on your smartphone to turn that device on and off. It's an incredibly simple device to install that most people can get up and running in less than 15 minutes. Now, home automation is something that everybody's interested in today, and I've been fascinated with it for decades, ever since I saw a commercial as a young kid, and I'm laughing a little bit because it was for a device called the Clapper, and a lot of you out there are probably smiling remembering that commercial, but it was a really crude device that plugged into the wall, you'd plug a lamp into it, and then you'd clap twice, it would turn on, you'd clap twice again, it would turn off, and it worked. It just worked really well. But as a younger guy, I looked at that and said, man, that's pretty cool. I can control things by not being near things. And I love that technology. So I've studied it ever since. I have a tremendous amount of home automation equipment at my house. I've got sensors and lights, and wall switches. I've got hubs and programmable things that I can write these extensive programs to turn things on and off based on the weather, days and night, and that type of thing. This is an incredibly simple device. So I wanted to start here because I plan on doing a lot more clips on home automation on the channel. But a device like this is something that anybody can take home without a whole lot of knowledge or electronics experience, plug it in, configure it, and have it working very quickly. And it does a lot of stuff. It's a really, really smart device in that you can not only control it from your smartphone, but if you've got a smart device at home like an Alexa, or you've got a Google Home at home, you can actually issue commands or bark at it and say, turn on whatever you're calling that device. So anywhere in your home, you can have something plugged into it and have it turned on through that smart device. You can also set up schedules, which are really helpful. So say, for example, you're leaving for a week and you don't want to leave the house dark. You want to have lights popping on at different times during the day and night to simulate people in the house moving around. You can set up a schedule based on those events to sort of turn on or turn off. You can also set it up to turn on certain appliances, maybe when you're coming home for the afternoon. I drive home at pretty much the same time every day, so when I get home at 6 o'clock, I don't like to come into a dark house during the wintertime. So having these devices programmed to turn on some lights in the dining room, maybe a light in the living room, at 6 o'clock, I walk into a house that's got lights on, and that's a pretty cool thing. So it's a small device, it's inexpensive, but the versatility is really built into it to allow you to do a lot of really cool stuff with it. So what I'm going to do in the clip is spend a little bit of time talking about home automation now, then I'll do an unboxing. There's not a lot to it. I'll do sort of a configuration portion where I show you how to configure the product, and then I'll come back and do a demonstration and show you how you can turn it on from the front, through your smartphone, and also using a smart device like an Echo Show 5. But for this first part, what I'm trying to impress upon you is that when you hear home automation, a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I got to get an electrician in to install switches and it's going to get complicated, and how am I going to keep track of all that stuff? You don't really need to worry about that. You can start with something really simple like this and slowly grow that home automation profile to build in a bunch of other stuff if you want down the road. There's a lot of compatibility now with these products between different manufacturers, and Wemo, which is a company that's owned by Belkin, who's a gigantic multinational corporation, has got a lot of devices in the Wemo branding. They've got smart devices like this where you can put a plug in, they've got wall switches, they've got light bulbs, they've got thermostats. There's a ton of stuff that you can add to this Wemo universe and sort of expand what you're controlling in your home over time. So what I'd suggest is if you're at all interested in home automation, starting with a small device like this is a really good thing because it's really simple to use, really easy to set up, and you're not spending a lot of money to see if home automation is really right for you. And to give you one proof point, my father and mother-in-law are a little bit older, and I love them to death, but they're kind of leading edge people that really embrace new technology. So Father's Day came up last year, and we thought, what can we get, Dad, for Father's Day? We bought him a couple of these devices. I didn't even have to get involved. He basically took them home, plugged them in, spun up the application, configured them, and he's in his 80s, configured them, and he's turning stuff on in the house left and right and bragging about how cool it is. So I guarantee you that if you're looking at this clip and you're at all worried about making this thing work in your home, it really is that simple. So don't fear the technology. It's definitely something that can enhance your life and make things a whole lot cooler at home. And just think how neat it is when you're sitting in your lounge chair and you want to turn on a fan or a light, and all you do is bark at your Alexa and it turns it on for you. It's a very cool thing. So anyway, next I'm going to get into the unboxing, then I'll do the configuration, then I'll come back and do a demo with some final thoughts. So stay tuned. Unboxing the Wemo Smart Plug is not that exciting an event because when you first pop open the box, you'll see the smart plug and a user's manual that explains exactly how to configure and get that smart plug working in your home. And honestly, it really is a simple device and there aren't a lot of accessories needed. You simply plug it into the wall, spin up the application, configure the smart plug, and start using it. The setup for the Wemo Smart Plug is really straightforward and only involves a few simple steps. Before you get started, make sure you've downloaded the Wemo application to your smartphone and you've written down your home's Wi-Fi password. You'll also need the original instruction manual that came with the device so you can scan it to activate it later on. When you first open up the app, you'll see the wide variety of Wemo devices that this one application can control. Now, since we're adding a smart plug, just tap on the top option. The next screen tells you to plug the device in. Now, when you first plug it in, it's going to go through a power on self-test, and you'll know it started that because the light in the front will blink white. Tap the It's Plugged In button at the bottom. The next step asks you to wait until the light starts flashing two different colors. Once it's finished its self-test and it's starting to look for a network, it'll flash white and orange. So once you see it flashing white and orange, hit the button on the bottom that says it's ready for setup. The next screen is going to have you connect directly to the Wemo smart plug. So you'll open up your settings menu, open up your Wi-Fi connection, and you should see a Wemo device listed under Setup New Device. In this case, it's called Wemo Mini 9D6. Tap on that. It's going to ask you if you want to add that to your home network. You're going to say yes. Eventually, it's going to connect. You'll get a checkbox next to it. My smartphone is an Apple device, so the minute I connected up to the smart plug, it brought up the HomeKit setup and asked me to scan that code that's on your owner's manual. So all you do is basically hover your camera over that code. Once it recognizes the code, it starts searching for the accessory. Once it finds the accessory, it'll add it to the HomeKit and then allow me to label it. So I'll call it Test Plug. And once I've finished that inside of the HomeKit, which allows me to control it through the Apple iOS operating system, I can go back to the Wemo application. Once you do that, the Wemo application will start looking for the connection. And you'll see it saying Opening Connection. Now you get a chance to actually name the device. Now in my case, I've named it Test Plug. You can call it anything you want. Once you name it, it's going to connect to the Wemo Mini one more time. And then it's going to connect back to your home Wi-Fi network to transfer that information to the Wemo Mini so it knows how to connect to your network. And then lastly, it's going to tell you that the remote access is enabled. At this point, it's set up and ready to use. If you go back to the main application, you should see the Wemo Mini Smart Plug available in there to control. Now again, from this application, if you tap that button on the right, you can turn that appliance on and off right from the application. And then down the bottom, you can set up rules or schedules or all kinds of other automated features. Now that we've finished the setup for the Wemo Smart Plug, I'd like to show you just how versatile this device is and how simple it'll be to use it in your own home. Now for the demonstration today, I've got a test outlet here which will simulate any outlet in your home. I've plugged the smart plug into the front of it, and I'm using this lamp as the device we're going to control with the smart plug. Now, this will handle up to 15 amps of current, which means a lot of the appliances you plug into the wall at home can be controlled by this outlet. Just make sure you're not drawing more than 15 amps of current. Now, you can turn the smart plug on a couple of different ways. The simplest way is to hit the button on the front, and it turns it on. That's not that exciting. Honestly, if I'm that close to the light, I can just turn the light on, but there may be times where you want to turn the light on from the outlet, so that's one way to do it. The way I normally do it, though, is I'll open up the Wemo application, and all the devices you've configured from Wemo will show up in this application. Now, right now, the only one I've got configured is this smart plug, and it's right there at the top. But if I hit this button over here, it turns it on. And if I hit it again, it turns it off. So anywhere in my home, I can be standing with this application, hit the button, and turn on whatever appliance is being controlled by this device. Now, if I'm a lazy guy and I'm in my recliner and I've got a fan set up across the room and it gets a little bit warm, I don't have to bounce out of the recliner, run over to the fan, turn it on, and get back in the recliner. I can hit that button and the fan comes on. What a cool thing. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, you can also control it through a lot of smart devices like this Amazon Echo Show I've got here to my left. Now, I did a review on this a couple of days ago. This is a really reasonably priced product. It's a smart device for your home that will control Wemo devices and a bunch of other things, and I love this technology. So to use this, once I've configured it, I've called this Test Plug. So all I have to say is, Alexa, turn on Test Plug.
Okay.
There you go. Alexa, turn off Test Plug. And again, this can be anywhere in my home. So if I've got appliances plugged in downstairs, turn on a coffee pot, turn on a fan, turn on a radio, it just gives me a tremendous amount of versatility. And I love that I have 3 different options to activate this device. Now, the last thing you can do, which is also really cool, is inside the application, you can actually set up schedules so that if you're maybe going on vacation and you want to have lamps turning on in your house in random times, this is a great way to simulate people being in the house. Or maybe you get home from work every night at 6 o'clock and it's getting a little bit dark and you want the lights in the living room to come on. You can set those schedules inside that application. So this home automation just gives you tremendous amount of possibilities for sort of controlling the devices in your home, both remotely and based on schedules. It's a pretty cool technology. So that's all I had for today. I hope you found this clip helpful. I love this kind of technology, and I'm going to be doing a bunch more clips on Wemo devices and a bunch of other remote control devices on the channel so that I cover all my bases here. If you have questions about what I've covered today, please drop those in the comments below, and I promise to get back to you as quickly as I can. I've got links below where you can find this device. I'll probably put a link in there for the Amazon Echo Show as well. And if you want to buy those devices and use those links, we get a little bit of credit. So we'd appreciate that because it helps support the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I have a ton of clips ready to go for the summer. I'm going to be talking about home automation, a ton of drone stuff. I've got other technologies I'm going to be reviewing. So hit that subscribe button down there in the corner and join the Drone Valley family, because we love the fact that you guys are watching. You're asking a lot of really great questions. And when I put these clips together, I really get inspired by the people that are watching the channel. So I appreciate all the viewership and the support you guys have shown us. And that's pretty much it for today. So until next time, stay nerdy.